when I wrote that piece, I think it was one of the awards, something that was going on in Hollywood, and I was looking at all the couples and women from all ranges of ages, and I was thinking, what has happened over the past couple of decades that the women's clothing have become less and less. The men are fully clothed.
The men are fully kitted.
I mean, and I just think you barely, people are barely wearing clothes, the women, barely. And I'm thinking, what are you communicating? What is it you're telling yourself, let alone what you're telling the world? What has happened where now this is the how you think you need to, the bargaining, whatever you want to call it, how people, what has happened that has made women, as much as they gain independence and all kinds of stuff, that they wear less and less, that seems to be what is encouraged. And it just, I was just baffled by it. So I just thought, what exactly is going on? What have we missed? And where is this actually going to take us? Because we're 1 second away from walking around completely naked, and I don't know where that, it's just about trying to understand the psyche, that where has this message, the messaging come from? Is it, never mind, men wanting to see, objectifying women's body, that's always been, but what is it? I wondered all about women, how we see ourselves, and what it is that we're actually saying to one another, and are we talking to one another, and can we, and where is it going to lead to? Because there's no way that this is going to be of benefit or enhance women's mental health, because then what then that then leads to is body, doing all kinds of things to your body and trying to make it look ways that, all we can see some of the things that women do to their bodies now. You just think, ouch, and ew, so it's just, so yeah, that's a big thing, and of course, raising daughters, well, let me leave them out of here, out of that. But I just think, yeah, so it's just supporting what you're saying.
Yeah, these struggles
Mm,
and concerns,
mm,
they are old.
mm.
We've been at this for a while.
Yeah.
Remember all the things Frantz Fanon used
Mm,
to write about the objectification
yeah.
of women and their bodies, and
Mm,
how unfortunately one of the byproducts of slavery and colonialism is
mm,
that we've been socialized into believing that there's one universal standard of beauty,
yeah.
and that universal standard is tall, skinny, with long hair and white.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so Black women all over the world, and for a while, there was some kind of a renaissance, and
Mm,
we got
mm.
a groove. There was a sound.
Maybe it might be my phone, but okay.
Right. For some period of time, there was a kind of pushback, and Black women were more confident in what they were wearing, and
Mm,
what they were doing with their hair and so
mm,
on. And then with this, I think it started, I don't know if it started from the millennials, but definitely with the Gen Zs, we've
mm,
now seen such an upsurge in what this means. Everyone who is defined as pretty has
mm.
to have skin
Yeah.
of a certain tone. And so that's a multi-billion dollar industry, creams and lotions that make your skin glow and look a certain way. Then the plastic surgery industry. I know all these are matters of choice, but why are they done in ways in which make women all over the world, regardless of their age or range, feel that they are never enough?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And when we were growing up as young Nigerian women, our mothers used to slap us on the backside. Because remember, some of us used to walk around with our backsides pushed up because, that was how you got people to know that you were not a little girl anymore. You were
Yeah.
now a grown up. So you walk around with your backside pushed up. Everyone had a backside. So our moms used to slap our
Yeah.
backside and say, yeah, daddy, yeah,
Yeah.
daddy. So my question to some of the young women around me the other day was, what happened? Did this backside skip a generation?
Mm.
So why do we now need to see young African girls going to do butt lifts? Why?
Yeah. The sad part is sometimes you need to see what their mothers are doing.
That's another
And
thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
a
so now our skin tones have to look the same, our
yeah.
breasts have to be the same, our backsides have to be the same. And then have you listened to a lot of young people talk lately? I think maybe it's a kind of I don't know if it's a TikTok accent. Everyone now has an American accent.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can hardly say a sentence in
Yeah.
English without saying literally, literally, or I'm obsessed. And
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
other person is obsessed with something.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
word literally has to be sprinkled into every single sentence. So it's a
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
okay. So no, so seriously,
Mm.
it's okay for us to stay connected via all these medium
Mm.
platforms
Mm.
and to listen to what people are saying and so on.
Mm.
But
Mm.
I think it's important for those of us
Mm.
of a certain generation who would like to hold certain things close to ourselves so that we
Mm.
can pass it on. It's of whatever we believe is of value is something that we want to pass on, right? Because there are a
Yes.
lot of things that we inherited as well that is not of value, and
Oh yes.
definitely not be passing that on to anyone around me. But there are a lot
Yeah.
of things that we know are of value, like
Yeah.
respect for yourself
Yeah.
and your body, and then
Yeah.
respect for others,
Yeah.
like being of service to your
Mm. Mm.
um valuing everything that you have, valuing the education that you've received, the
Mm.
money that you have, not being wasteful. Can you imagine, spending $2,000 or its equivalent on a wig? A wig, Auntie Gloria.
It's a lot more than
How?
that at times. A lot more than that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
values. Yeah. Yeah.
So we need to try as much as possible to continue to have these conversations. And as you said earlier, there are a lot of young people out there who are doing phenomenal things.
Yeah.
And we hope that they will continue to serve as role models to
Yeah.
other young people.
Yeah.
But we cannot continue to have a society that doesn't believe that there's value in honoring ancestors,
Yeah.
honoring older people,
Yeah.
honoring truth,
Yeah.
being respectful of yourself,
Yeah.
what you put on your body, being respectful of how you engage with other people, how you manage
Yeah.
relationships,
Yeah.
what you say when you're online.
Yeah.
Just
Oh.
because the person just because the person you are talking to can't see you, they don't know who you
Yeah.
are. So you
Yeah.
hide behind that and you display some of the the deepest sense of psychosis I've ever seen.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you come across
Yes.
them online.
Yeah.
So we need to continue to, and we are not wrong because they will call us old fashioned, you don't
Mm.
move with the times, and it's okay. Just
Mm.
leave me in my old fashioned,
Yeah.
space.
Well, but the thing about it is that we see where it's taking the young people, and it's not in a good direction. Which takes me into my next uh the question or thinking about healing and intergenerational work, and how can we integrate trauma informed and ancestral healing frameworks. I know a lot of people, when they hear, particularly in our community, and ancestral, immediately people run for the hills, they cover their heads, they do all of that stuff. Sadly, although I'd like to think there's beginning to be a shift, the people are beginning to at least talk about it. um whenever I go, I'm invited to talk, and I talk about ancestral healing, and I see how people respond to it. There's a lot of nodding of heads, there's a lot of shares, and a lot of, but I don't want to sort of, just say it doesn't mean anything, because even the acknowledgement of that, I see it's more than it used to be, but it's like, how are we really building on it, um, and looking at the kind of frameworks that can tap into feminist activism to prevent burnout, fragmentation, disconnection, um, and because all these things again have been around. We're talking about mental health issues. This stuff we've been talking about for a long time. You were one of the forward thinking people who saw where this was going, uh, African women's mental health. But it feels as if somewhere along the line, we it doesn't feel as if we've had enough conversations to really begin to see it as something viable, something that actually we've been given. It's part of the blessings that we've been given as Africans. All these things that I don't think we still value sufficiently. So it's the conversations and building them into more of what we do as African women, and particularly with the feminist movement, and because even that has to be looked at again, because it's been
Mhm.
tore up in all kinds of different forms. But that's another conversation.